Hi, my name's Max and I'm the creator of Hydroneer. In the last few weeks, we've been working very hard on patching out some of the issues in 2.0. A few little bugs came up with the update as expected, but now we've been working on the new suggestions update. This is a smaller update where we've taken suggestions from Reddit, Discord, Twitter, YouTube comments, Twitch chat. We've taken suggestions from all over the community and we're putting them into this new update. Now, of course, not all suggestions are going to fit well into the game, or some of them might even be too big scope or something that we're going to be adding in the future, such as NPC interactability. So some of the things we're kind of holding off until some of the future updates that we've got planned. But I'm here to talk about a few of the new things that we're actually adding into the suggestions update. It's coming up to quite a big one with a lot of new items, a lot of changes, and a lot of bug fixes. So I'm not going to go through everything in today's video, but I will give you the highlights of what I think are the coolest things coming in this update. But before I get into that, let's talk about some merchandise. You can see here, I'm wearing one of our new merchandise items. It's a pattern pipe design for Hydroneer, and you can get it in our merch store linked in the description below. Now, we've noticed that not a lot of the plushies have been selling, so I've decided to drop the price by an additional $10. So if you're interested in getting one of these huge pipe plushies, I don't have one with me, but Rhino can just edit one in right here. They're pretty big. That is probably not to scale, but they are really cool and I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on them. The t-shirts have been selling really well, as well as these pin badges we've got as well. So if you're thinking about picking up some Hydroneer merchandise, then you got to be quick. They're all limited edition. So have you ever been building a base in Hydroneer and you get to the part where you're laying down your conveyor belts and you've got everything set up perfectly and then realize that the splitters only split in one direction? Well, one of the most common things suggested to us for this update has been a splitter that splits in the opposite direction. Now, inside of the conveyor store, you can find an alternative direction splitter. Speaking of conveyor belts, we also have a new conveyor belt hook. It hooks on top of the conveyor belts, and it's essentially a little ramp. So if you've got a T-junction somewhere in your pipes where you've got maybe two belt lines meeting up, this is a great way to join up those two lines. Something that actually arrived in 2.0 but wasn't really distinctive enough to notice was different dirt textures. As you make your way from tier 1 to tier 2 down to tier 3, you'll actually notice that the dirt color changes to be a little bit darker. Now, this was pretty good, but it wasn't really powerful enough that you can actually notice the difference. So in this new suggestions update, we've got these brand new textures in the game that make it a lot more obvious to see if you're in tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. Now, in 2 updates time, we're going to be doing the tier 3 update. This is going to have some prospecting tools as well as unlocking tier 3. You'll be able to dig down into that tier 3 section of dirt, which I cannot wait to be working on. As well as these new textures on the actual dirt that you dig from, we also have new dirt chunk textures. So you can easily identify what is a tier 1 dirt chunk and what is a tier 2 dirt chunk. As the quality level of that dirt changes, the texture of it changes as well. Now, we wanted to put something in this update for the creative players, the ones who actually use creative mode in the game. So we added in the hard hat item. As you go to place down a build item in the game, as soon as you place that item down, it spawns a brand new one of those items in your hand. So if you're looking to make a mega factory, this item is for you. Speaking about mega factories, we've also added in a few new logic items, as well as one of the logic lights and some lighting fixes. We also added in multiplication and divide logic items into the game. In this update, there's also quite a lot of logic fixes. There are a few little bugs that kind of created themselves in 2.0 that we had to address. Speaking about bugs, we've also reworked the vehicle system as well. In the future, we're going to be adding in some new vehicles like digging machines and also some farming things in the next farming update. So we wanted to start working and getting those vehicles exactly where we want them to be. We found a lot of issues, like if you alt-tabbed out of the game or if you had a low frame rate, that these vehicles would actually start to misbehave. Some of them would sink into the ground, some of them would just fly off into the air. It's a whole big problem. Now, vehicles and Hydroneer have never really worked too well, and we're hoping that this new approach would definitely be a lot smoother for the rest of the development of Hydroneer. Now, probably one of the biggest changes that people were asking for the suggestions update was the Rake. Now the rake doesn't really work as intended. What it's meant to do is rake down ground so it's flat and easy to build on. So we've gone in there and remade the entire functionality of this rake. Now it works a little bit differently. Instead of kind of building blocks of terrain and removing blocks of terrain, it sort of smooths them over a bit more and makes them a lot more aligned with the grid in the game. If you've used the rake before, this might actually feel a little bit weird to get used to at first, but it is definitely a big improvement on the previous rake. I know a lot of you are asking for some sort of automatic rake tool or just the rake being able to be used in a bigger area, and that's something that we're going to be looking at with some vehicles in the future. There's a lot of potential that we can do with vehicles once we've got them in a nice position to start adding in new vehicles. And when we get to that point, we'll be adding in things that will make it easier to rake, to dig, and to process dirt. You've got a lot to look forward to when it comes to Hydroneer, and we're certainly not done yet with our development. Now there's a slight design problem in Hydroneer 2.0. We've noticed that a lot of players have all of their digging machines above ground and never actually really venture down below into the mine shafts that they've created. Now this is a little bit of a problem. Hydroneer is predominantly a digging game, you know, tiers are important, and a lot of times players aren't actually getting all of the resources that they could be getting if they were digging deeper. The deeper you dig, the better the resources, and I think a few players are missing this out. We try and put it in some of the item descriptions such as the drills and also the shovels, but I think some players just miss it out. So in this update we're actually changing the way that resources spawn. Not only now do gems have different rarities and prices, it goes emeralds, sapphires, rubies, then onyx in the range of cheapest and easiest to find and the hardest to find and the most expensive. But we're also changing the way that Cloutium ore spawns. Cloutium ore will only spawn from drilling machines underneath the surface level. So you have to put your drills in a little bit deeper to actually get that Cloutium ore. You'll still get the same amount of resources of all the other stuff, but you'll just miss out on getting any Cloutium. You'll still be able to get Cloutium ore from hand panning. If that's above the surface level or deep in the mine, you'll still get Cloutium ore. Obviously, if you dig deeper, that Cloutium ore might be bigger. But I feel like this is a change that kind of needs to happen, especially moving into our tier 3 update in the future, where we're going to have another resource type that only spawns down deep underground. Speaking of new updates, we are going to start working on our new farming update. Now I don't want to spoil this too much, I will save that for the next video, but we have started working on a few little mechanics as we start to kind of get this suggestions update rounded out. One of the things to get excited about with this farming update is also having NPCs. Now these NPCs are going to be using kind of the character models, so we're going to be creating more character models. One of these big suggestions has also been female body types, which we're going to be leaving off until this next update as we've got quite a lot of models to create. With these female body types, we're also going to be adding in new outfits. If you have an outfit suggestion that might kind of work well in the world of Hydroneer, then please let us know. We've got quite a few outfits on our mind already, but we'd love to hear what you guys think, so put them down in the description of this video. What kind of outfits do you think would work well? One of the latest updates we've created is this one right here. It's kind of like an outfit of a guy who's maybe broken out of jail and started a mining operation. And I think Joe's done a really good job with this one. We're planning on adding in quite a few more outfits. So let us know what you guys think and we'll probably pick some of the best ones and create some outfits for them. With these new outfits, we're also going to be adding in some face types as well. Now there's quite a lot coming in this new suggestions update. We really tried to listen to our community, find out what people want, and apply this in an update. If you guys are disappointed that maybe something that you wanted wasn't in this update, then let us know in the comments. We'd still like to really hear about some things that you'd like to see in Hydroneer, even if it didn't make this update. There's quite a lot more in this update, so be sure to check out the patch notes before you jump into it. We're going to be working on the farming update now, so the next video will probably be focused on that. Thanks for watching everyone. I will catch you all next month.